need to cover, and that shape is a circle. Since the invention of the wheel, circles have been extremely important to all humanity.
Grog make wheel.
Thanks, Grog. In fact, you probably see circles almost everywhere you turn. But mathematically, what is a circle? Well, in geometry, a circle is defined as the set of all points that are equidistant, or the same distance, from another single point. And the best way to understand what that means is to see it in action. So, here's a single point to start with. And now, let's start drawing points that are equidistant from it. This point is a foot away to the right. Now let's make another point a foot away, but in another direction. Let's say up here. Now let's make another one, also a foot away, but in another direction, right here. Now let's make another, right here.
And another, and another, and another, and another.
Phew, I'm getting tired. But do you see what's happening? The more equidistant points we add, the more the pattern looks like a circle. And that's why a circle is defined equidistant from a center point. But of course, we usually don't see it as a set of points because there's infinitely many of them, so they form a continuous circle. Okay, now let's learn about the parts that make up a circle. First of all, we have the original point that we started with. That's called the center or the origin of the circle. Next, we have the distance that we use to draw all of the equidistant points that form a circle. That distance is called the radius. The radius is important because it's the distance from the center of a circle to any other point on the perimeter of that circle. And even though a circle only has one radius dimension, you can draw as many radius lines as you want to. Usually you'll only see one radius line drawn since it's the same length no matter where you draw it. Another important circle dimension is called the diameter. The diameter is the distance across a circle. If you start at one point on the circle and then draw a line straight through the center to the other side, that distance is the diameter. As you can see, the diameter is really just the same as two radius lines drawn in exactly opposite directions. So for any circle, the diameter is always exactly twice as long as the radius. All of the equidistant points we drew combine to form the perimeter of the circle. Remember that perimeter is just the distance all the way around a shape. But because a circle is a special shape, the perimeter of a circle gets a special name. It's called the circumference. The circumference is the distance all the way around a circle. We're going to learn how to calculate the circumference of any circle in the next video. We'll also learn how to calculate the area of any circle. But before we can learn those things, we first need to learn about pi.
Grog make pie.
Sorry, Grog, not that kind of pi. In math, the word pi, which is spelled pi, refers to a very special number. In fact, it's so special that it gets its own symbol. This Greek letter here is the symbol for the number pi. But if pi is just a number, why don't we write it like that? Why do we need to use a special symbol for it? That's a good question, and I'll get to that in just a minute. But first, let's learn what pi really is by seeing how it relates to a circle. It turns out that pi is really a ratio. Now, if you're not sure what a ratio is, you can watch our video about them. But basically, a ratio is just a relationship between two numbers that's written like a fraction. Pi is the ratio of two different distances on a circle. It's the ratio of the distance around a circle to the distance across a circle. And what do we call those two distances? Yep, the circumference and the diameter. So pi is the relationship of the circumference to the diameter. And as you'll see in a minute, because pi is a ratio, it's the same number for any circle, no matter how big or small. Okay, but what number is it? What's the value of pi? Well, to figure that out, have a look at these two circles, one big and one small. We're going to imagine that our circle's diameters are flexible like a piece of string, and that we can wrap them around the outside edges, circumferences, of the circles. So for each circle, if we start at the top and wrap the diameter around the circumference, we see that one diameter is not enough to go all the way around. So let's get another diameter and keep going where the first diameter stopped. Two diameters still isn't enough to go all the way around. It looks like we're going to need to get a third diameter and keep going. Oh, so close! 3 diameters is almost enough, but it looks like we're going to need just a little bit more to form a full circumference. That little bit more turns out to be about 0.14 diameters. That means that it takes 3.14 diameters to equal 1 circumference for any circle, big or small. So the value of pi is always 3.14. Well, okay, pi is a little more complicated than that. 3.14 is really just pi rounded off to 2 decimal places. And we actually have to round pi off because it's a type of number that's called irrational. An irrational number has decimal digits that never end and never repeat.
Grog confused.
Yes, irrational numbers are confusing, but seeing some more of pi's decimal digits will help you understand what I mean. To be more precise, pi is 3.1415926535897932338, and the decimal digits just keep on going forever without repeating. Pretty amazing, huh? But the good news is that saying pi is 3.14 is usually close enough for most math problems, so that's all you really need to memorize. And that's why we use a symbol for pi in equations. We could write pi with just 2 decimal places, or we could write it with 5 decimal places to be more accurate, or we could write it with hundreds of decimal places to be super accurate, or we could just use the symbol to represent the true value, which is infinitely accurate. Okay, so in this video, we learned what a circle is, and we've learned about the important parts of a circle: the center, the radius, the diameter, and the circumference.
Sir, it is cracking.
So did you guys understand the video or no?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Polki, beta, how did you do in today's Olympiad?
Sir, it went pretty well. Sir, I'll get my maths paper tomorrow and I'll send you a picture of it.
Like you did not get the question paper today?
So we got it today, but I didn't realize today would be a class, so I didn't bring it home.
Okay, we'll see one more video.
In this video, we're going to learn how we can use that ratio to calculate the circumference and the area of any circle. The formulas that we use to calculate circumference and area are so important that you should really memorize them. To help you do that, we're going to look at them side by side, and that will help you see their similarities and their differences so you don't get them mixed up. The formula for finding the circumference is circumference equals pi times diameter. And just like most formulas, we use abbreviations: C for circumference and D for diameter. So that's a pretty simple formula. It tells us that if we know the diameter of a circle, all we have to do is multiply that diameter times the number pi, and we'll get the circumference. Now we'll try that formula out in a few minutes, but first, let's see the formula for area. The formula for finding the area of a circle is area equals pi times radius squared. Again, we can use abbreviations to make it shorter: A for area and R for radius. Now this is a pretty simple formula too. It tells us that if we know the radius, we just have to square it and then multiply that times pi to get the area. Okay, but what does it mean to square the radius? Well, squaring a number just means multiplying it by itself. For example, 3 squared just means 3 times 3. And 5 squared just means 5 times 5. And r squared just means r times r. So our formula is really just area equals pi times r times r. But we write it in the r squared form because it's more compact. Oh, and one really important thing to keep in mind is that r squared is not the same thing as 2 times r. That's a common mistake that students make when first learning how to find the area of a circle. And if we look carefully at both of our formulas, you'll see why. These two formulas have a lot in common. In each of them, you're multiplying pi by part of a circle to find either the circumference or the area. In the case of the circumference, you're multiplying pi times the diameter. And in the case of the area, you're multiplying pi times the radius squared. But do you remember the relationship between the radius and the diameter? Diameter is just 2 times the radius. So we could rewrite our formula for circumference like this. Circumference equals pi times 2 times r. Ha! Now you see why it's so easy to get confused. To find the circumference, you take the radius and double it. Then you multiply by pi to get the final answer. But for area, you don't double the radius, you square it. And that's a very important difference. To help you see that difference in action, let's find both the circumference and the area of this circle using our two formulas. The only thing we know about this circle is that the radius is 8 meters. Luckily, that's all we need to know. First, we use our formula for circumference. Circumference equals pi times diameter. To get the diameter, we take the radius and we double it. That is, we multiply it by 2.
So kids, you can memorize the formula as pi times d or c equals to 2 pi r also. So 2 pi r, why? Because 2 into r is diameter and pi times diameter is actually 2 times r. So you write pi d or 2 pi r, it means the same. That is the formula for circumference. The value of pi is generally taken as 22/7, but if nothing is given, if nothing is given, we take it as 22/7. But in some questions, they will give you use pi equals to 3.14. Then you can use 3.14. Otherwise, in most questions where nothing is given, we use 22/7. Do we understand, guys?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
2 times 8 equals 16, so the diameter is 16 meters. Then we multiply that by pi to get the circumference. Since this is decimal multiplication, I'm going to use a calculator, 0.24. So that means that the circumference of this circle is 50.24 meters. All right, now let's find the area using our formula, area equals pi times r squared. Again, we start with the radius, but instead of doubling it, we square it. That means we multiply it by itself. 8 meters times 8 meters equals 64 meters squared. Then we multiply that by pi, 64 squared. That's the area of this circle. As you can see, the result we get when we square the radius is very different from the result we get when we double it. And one of the most important differences is with the units of our answer. Doubling the radius just gives us the diameter, which is a one-dimensional quantity. So the answer we get from our formula for circumference gives us square units, which are two-dimensional. That makes sense because area is always a two-dimensional quantity. Remembering that will help you avoid guesses for area. All right, let's try a couple real-world examples to make sure you've got it. Here's the real world, which, as you probably know, slice is a circle. Let's find the circumference of that circle. To do that, we need to know the diameter of the Earth.
Okay, guys, I think that's enough. You enjoyed a lot already, right, guys? Right? Did you enjoy? Speak up.
Very
Preeti.
much, sir. Very enjoyable.
Very enjoyable, huh? You were missing Andaman since long.
Sir, you're making us do higher thinking questions.
Solve the example one.
सर हम 22/7 से करेंगे ना?
Yes. Mr. YY, today your ceiling is attending the class or the wall?
Ma'am, I've sent.
Ma'am, today Lilwani is absent. So, अद्वै आपने पाई की वैल्यू क्या ली?
So 3.14.
बेटा क्या था क्वेश्चन में? कि
screen
what did I tell you कि अगर कुछ नहीं दिया हो तो you will take 22/7 by default.
और स्क्रीन बंद
So
हो
we
गई
will use C equal to 2 pi r.
और आपकी स्क्रीन नहीं दिख रही।
So C is equal to 2 into 22/7 into 10.5, which is 1.5, which will be 1.5 into 2 is 3, 3 into 22 is 66 centimeters. Do we understand?
Yes.
यस सर, बट आपकी स्क्रीन बंद हो गई है।
बेटा मेरी तो चल रही है, आपकी बंद हुई होगी।
सर चल रही है।
आपका सिस्टम स्लो है।
अच्छा नहीं सर, मैंने दूसरे मीटिंग पे लगाया हुआ था।
बेटा ये सब नहीं किया करो, ये सब अलाउड नहीं है।
सर दूसरी मीटिंग।
ये सब अलाउड नहीं है बेटा।
सर ऊपर
Do
मीटिंग।
the second question. Don't argue. Mikey. So 2 times pi times r. What is the r10? तो क्या होगा? 31.2 into 31.4, which is 6.8 centimeters. गलती मत किया करो बच्चा, गलती मत किया करो। नेक्स्ट, अब इसमें मिनिमम 2 क्रॉसेस आएंगे मुझे ऐसा लगता है, क्योंकि मिनिमम 2 बच्चे गलती करेंगे मुझे ऐसा लगता है। व्हाट डू यू थिंक सनी?
सर हो भी सकता है सर, क्योंकि आपके पास मैजिकल पावर्स है ना, आपको पता होएगा।
यस। Amira, what do you think?
Sir, I don't know.
So why whenever I ask you say I don't know? Otherwise you are too talkative.
When am I talkative?
Your mom told me you are too talkative.
Okay, so I think that 2 people will get crosses.
And I said at least. So let's see. Mikey, do you know why Dheeraj is not joined?
No, sir.
Cross number 1, guys. My next prediction is the number of crosses can be near to 3.
सर आप क्या बना रहे हो?
I'm waiting for you guys to answer. प्रीति, आप अपना बेड नहीं बनाते बेटा खुद से?
No.
ये राम, सच में हॉस्टल जाने की जरूरत है।
मैम गलत भेज दिया, मैंने गलत भेज दिया, टाइपिंग एरर था।
प्रीति, आंसर दे दो बेटा।
सर आपको आपकी प्रिडिक्शन सही हो सकती है।
सर आपकी प्रेडिक्शन सही है, मेरे को नहीं आता।
सर सर सही होगी।
तो गाइस, मैंने बोला था एटलीस्ट 2 एंड the number of crosses will be equal to near to 3. So they are exactly 3, guys. So the formula for circumference is pi d मैं use करूंगा. I can use 2 pi r also, but using pi d is recommended because I have to directly find the diameter. So pi d is equal to 26.4. फिर तो ये linear equation जैसा हो गया. 22/7 multiplied by d is 26.4. So D is equal to 26.4 times 7 divided by 22. Then I will divide it by 2. I will get 13.2. Then I will divide with 11. I will get 1.2 times 7 will be 8.4
सर
centimeter.
मेरा दिमाग इतना अच्छा चलता है, मैं सर्कमफरेंस ढूंढ रहा हूँ।
सर मैंने रेडियस निकाल दिया, मैंने इंटू 2 का नहीं, क्योंकि मैंने पाई
Yes,
2 r
तभी
यूज
तो
करा।
guys मैंने
सर
बोला अगर आप pi d use
मैं
करोगे it would be recommended and
सर
beneficial and
सर मैं
easier.
8
सर
for
अगर
1
मेरा जैसे केस होगी, हम सर्कमफरेंस निकाल रहे हैं तो।
तो बेटा दिमाग के चेकअप की जरूरत है फिर तो।
सर कैन यू रिकमेंड एनी डॉक्टर?
Yes, yes, yes. Okay, next.
सर कौन सा?
This one.
सर दिस वन में कौन सा आता है?
Fourth.
ओके।
इसमें किड्स थोड़ा सा डिस्ट्रीब्यूटिव प्रॉपर्टी और फैक्टराइजेशन विल बी यूज. Either you use distributive property या फैक्टराइजेशन तभी सॉल्व होगा. So minimum of 3 crosses in for this question.
सर वन ऑलरेडी मेरे को समझ नहीं आ रहा।
समझने की कोशिश करो बेटा.
इसका आंसर क्वेश्चन में आएगा।
इसका आंसर
क्वेश्चन में आएगा
क्वेश्चन में आएगा मतलब
इक्वेशन मतलब नंबर में आएगा
यस लीनियर इक्वेशन बनेगी, फिर उसको सॉल्व करना पड़ेगा, बट उसको सॉल्व करने के लिए आपको कॉमन लेना, कॉमन नहीं भी लो तो भी चलेगा वैसे, हाँ नहीं भी लो तो भी चलेगा, कर सकते हो बिना कॉमन लिए सॉल्व भी। You can solve it. Three.
Yes, sir.
Savera got it. Raina, Arihan's paper was quite tough.
Oh, sir.
There was one question you guys won't believe ये grade 4 में आया है, 30-second question।
फिर कौन क्या है उसमें?
मैम
मैं
मैंने
अगर
पूरा
अभी
लिख
आपको
दिया
दे
था
दूंगा
आंसर।
ना, तो भी मैं आपको बोल रहा हूँ मिनिमम मुझे 4 क्रॉसेस मिलेंगे इस क्वेश्चन में।
सच में सर?
यस
अगले क्वेश्चन में ट्राई करना प्लीज।
बेटा, अभी टाइम वेस्ट होगा ना क्लास का, अदरवाइज इसलिए नहीं दे रहा, बट इफ वी गेट टाइम, अगर हम कभी सैटरडे क्लास करेंगे तो मैं वो दूंगा, मिनिमम 4 क्रॉसेस होंगे मिनिमम।
तो कॉन्सेप्ट क्या है उसमें?
कंसेप्ट बहुत इजी है, फ्रैक्शंस का है, फिर भी गलत होगा आप,
क्यों?
दिखा दूंगा।
सर, I'll try to solve it at home.
होम में विद ऑप्शंस हो जाएगा, विदाउट ऑप्शंस अगर मैं दूं।
अच्छा ठीक है सर, I'll hide the option.
और एक ही ट्राई करना।
ठीक है सर।
तो प्रेसिडेंट, मिस्टर प्रेसिडेंट एंड मिस प्रीति,
नो
प्रीति
सर।
ट्राई तो करो बेटा।
सर समझ नहीं आ रहा क्वेश्चन क्या बनेगा।
चलो आई एम
सर मेरी इक्वेशन ही नहीं बन रही है।
so circumference is 2 pi r exceeds its diameter, मतलब डायमीटर से बड़ा है, कितना बड़ा है 18। अब 2 pi r को मैं लिख लेता हूँ 22/7 r minus 2r is equal to 18। this is 44/7r minus 2r is equal to 18। तो गाइज इसको आप करोगे तो इट विल बी 30r/7, ये हो जाएगा 14r/7।
सर अगर आर
तो
की जगह डायरेक्ट 2 आर की जगह डायरेक्ट डी लिख ले तो?
डी भी लिख सकते हो आप,
ओके
तो भी आंसर आएगा। 18 into 7 divide by 30। अद्वै क्लियर है? 3 6 are 3
यस।
10 5। So 2.1 4.2, मैंने
4.2।
4.2 आ रहा है, मेरा भी 4.2 आ रहा है। 1 सेकेंड, 3 10 गड़बड़ हुई। 44 minus 14 30r। 1 second। So this is 18 into 7 divide by, let me simplify again. So 3 6 are 18, 3 10s are 30. Then this will be 42/10, which is 4.2 centimeters. All right, guys. So
यस
Preeti and YY and Mikey understood, and
सर ये तो ठीक है बट हम 6 और 10 की कटिंग करें तो 4.2 की नहीं आ रहा।
कैसे भी 4.2 आएगा,
सर
इसको
कैसे?
3 हो जाएगा, ये 5 हो जाएगा, 21/5 होगा, वो भी 4.2 होता है।
अच्छा ओ ओके।
So so beta, which breed is this, Savera?
सर शिजू,
इट्स वेरी क्यूट।
सर आज ये भी पढ़ेगा हमारे साथ।
ओके,
सर तो इजी क्वेश्चन देना ताकि वो पढ़ पाए।
सो फिफ्थ क्वेश्चन कर लो गाइस, फिर सिक्स्थ कर लो, दोनों कर लो। रेशियो क्वेश्चन इज वेरी इजी, पर कई बार स्टार्टिंग में बच्चों को टफ लगता है। ये बहुत इजी क्वेश्चन होता है।
सर रेडियस तो बट सेंटर पॉइंट से पास हो गए थे तो उनका रेशियो अलग अलग कैसे हो सकता है? सेम नहीं होना चाहिए।
तो
बेटा सरकम, ये दे हैव नॉट सेड कि उनका सेम सेंटर है, उन्होंने बोला है एक सेंटर है ऐसा और एक सेंटर ऐसा, एक सर्कल ऐसा है, इसका रेडियस और इसका रेडियस 3/4 है।
ओके सर।
मतलब ये 9 है तो ये 12 है।
ओके सर। ओके
बेसिकली यू विल टेक इट एज 3x एंड 4x।
ओके सर।
सर रेशियो डेसिमल में हो सकती है?
हो सकती है, बट इट वोंट बी। तो प्रीतिश, क्या आप कंप्लेंट कर रहे थे मैंने इतने टाइम से गिफ्ट नहीं दिया आपको?
किसको? कब?
आप बोल रहे थे मुझसे।
अरे कुछ भी मैंने कब बोला?
आई अंडरस्टैंड योर फीलिंग्स।
सर, सर आप वो जो वारिस वाले और वरदान वाले ग्रेड के साथ वो कुछ कोई उनको समथिंग कुछ देते हो, वो हमारे साथ भी रख लो।
मतलब गिफ्ट ही तो चाहिए आपको, वही तो मैं बोल रहा हूँ।
मैं वो पूछ रहा हूँ, इट्स अ गुड आइडिया। सर जो आप गिफ्ट बात कर रहे हो वो तो बिल्कुल नहीं चाहिए, मेरे को पता है आपको बहुत मुश्किल क्वेश्चन दे दोगे।
वही बेटा।
सर डिस्टेंस कवर्ड निकालने के लिए सर्कम्फरेंस निकालेंगे।
Yes.
तो मेरा आंसर मेरे को पता नहीं सही है या फिर गलत।
So you were saying something, Preeti? ओए
और कुछ
प्रीति,
नहीं, और कुछ नहीं।
क्या?
तो मेरे को लग
भाई
रहा
की टाइम अप हो गया है बेटा।
है सेंड कर दिया।
देखो, अमायरा एंड माइकी फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन बहुत इजी होता है। फर्स्ट का रेडियस होगा C1 का सरकमफ्रेंस होगा 2 पाई R1 विच इज 3x 2 पाई R। सेकेंड का होगा C2 का 2 पाई टाइम्स 4x। सो बिकॉज यू वांट अ रेशियो, दोनों को सिंप्लीफाई कर दो, 2 पाई कैंसिल हो जाएगा, x कैंसिल हो जाएगा, यू विल गेट द सेम रेशियो 3/4 और 3:4। अंडरस्टूड माइकी एंड अमायरा?
सर मैंने 3 डिफरेंट मेथड्स करे, उन तीनों में
Yes, sir.
सेम आंसर आ रहा था, बट मुझे लगा मेरा गलत है।
ओके, नाउ डिस्टेंस ट्रेवल्ड विल बी सरकमफ्रेंस, बिकॉज सरकमफ्रेंस जो होती है दैट इज 1 रेवोल्यूशन। अगर मैं इसको स्ट्रेट लाइन बना दूंगा तो ये 1 रेवोल्यूशन होगी। सरकमफ्रेंस टाइम्स द रेवोल्यूशंस will give me the distance. तो गाइस फर्स्ट सरकमफ्रेंस कितना है? पाई टाइम्स डी। डी इज 63 टाइम्स 1000। So this will be how much? 198,000 centimeters, which will be 1980 meters, which will be 1.980 kilometers. Okay,
सर मैंने मेरा सर्कमफेरेंस गलत आ गया।
understood everyone?
यस सर।
Preeti, Sunny,
यस सर।
understood?
सर
Next question, ये कर लो 7th। ये क्या हो गया? सवेरा,
सर मैं एंटर दबाना भूल गया था।
अमायरा, क्या प्रॉब्लम है?
So I
The
tried
time,
solving it, but I did not get the right answer.
how many revolution will it make to travel? So what we will do, we will divide 99,000 meters into 100, will make it into 70 meters by what? By the circumference. Circumference is pi times d,
सर
which is,
220 है।
हाँ, तो 10 कैंसिल हो जाएगा और 2 ये बन जाएगा 5, यहाँ बन जाएगा 11, दिस विल बी 9,000. So what's the answer?
45,000।
45.
45,000.
Okay.
सर हम सीधा 99 किलोमीटर्स को सेंटीमीटर्स में 220 से डिवाइड कर दें, तो मैंने तो वही करा।
क्या कैसे किया आपने? 99, बेटा यूनिट तो सेम करना पड़ेगा ना,
वो
ये
करा था
सेंटीमीटर।
तो 99 लाख या हाँ 99।
हाँ तो ऐसे भी कर सकते हो ना, उसमें क्या है, यूनिट सेम होना चाहिए बस. So do the 8th question. मैं आपको फिगर दिखा देता हूँ.
सर एक ने दो?
दोनों करने हैं।
अच्छा
गाइस एक एक करके भी भेज सकते हो आप एक एक करके भेज दो.
और इतना
फर्स्ट सेंड द आंसर फॉर 8, देन फॉर 9th.
करते कैसे है सर, इतना मुश्किल है।
तो पहले तभी तो मैं एक एक करके बोल रहा हूँ. Yes guys, first answer भेज दो हमारा माइकी.
सर
And
पता नहीं.
what about you, Amira? First answer.
So I'm still solving it.
बेटा इतना टाइम. चलो मैं फर्स्ट आंसर सॉल्व कर रहा हूँ. The let's take the outer ring. Pi times 2 into pi times r is equal to 308. Any problem in this?
No, sir.
R is equal to 308 times 7 divide by 2 into 22. So guys मैं simplify करूँगा. This will be 154. फिर मैं 22 से simplify करूँगा. This will be 7. 7 into 7 is 49 meters. Any problem in this?
No, sir.
Up 2 into 22 by 7 into r. Small r is equal to 264. Small r is equal to 264 times 7 divided by 2 into 22. Again, when I will simplify, this will become 132. ये 22, 6 are 132, तो 6 into 7 42 meters आ जाएगा. Subtract करेंगे, I will get 7 meters. Do we understand why?
Yeah,
Preeti, Amira,
sir.
yes or no?
Please. Yes, sir.
ठीक है. अब guys आप next कर लो. So we just subtracted 49 minus 42. तो मेरे को ये width आ गई, which was 7 meters. So do the example 9 now. So Preeti, Polki, and Amira.
सर मैंने भेज दिया.
मैम प्रीति ने भेज
So
भी
even
दिया
I
है.
sent my answer.
मैम even Amira sent. Oh Polki. Ma'am, please give star to Mikey.
Sent.
Today Mikey is on fire. So guys, तो पहले मैं I will find see जो figure है inner circumference is 220. So the diagram is same. This is an anda, all the racetrack. So this circumference is 220 meters. So guys, I will find the radius 2 multiplied by 22 by 7 times r is equal to 220.
सर
So
यही
r
भी
is,
सर मैंने यही शुरू करा था यहीं से
r is equal to 220 times 7 divided by 2 into 22. So
यस
this will be 10 and this will be 5. So my radius will be 35 meters. Any doubt in this?
नो सर मेरा भी यही आया
No,
अब guys
sir.
outer radius कितना होगा
ओ माय गॉड सर
बताओ?
इन्हें रिफाइंड कर लिया मैंने सिर्फ फिर उसके बाद उसका फेस
ये 7 होगा. तो outer radius will be, big R will be how much? 35 plus 7. That is equal to 42 meters. So we want the fence along the outer circle. So I will find the big circumference 2 into 22 by 7 into R, big R. So it will be what? 44 times 6, which will be
264.
264 meters. Now at the rate of 50, तो बस इसको 50 से multiply करो और आंसर आ जाएगा. Did you guys enjoy the question?
यस सर मेरे को
Sir, very much.
फोर्थ वाला वो भेज सकते हो क्वेश्चन
मैं फॉरवर्ड कर देता हूँ. क्लास में मैं फॉरवर्ड कर देता हूँ. ठीक है, कर दूंगा.
सर
ठीक है गाइस, आई सी यू इन द नेक्स्ट क्लास. बाय बाय, एंजॉय.
Bye, sir.
Sir, thank you, sir.
बाय, गुड नाइट.